Hello and welcome to Movies on the Side. This is Steven Robles.
And this is Nate Baranowski.
Okay, Nate's bringing the energy today. Today we're going to review the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
This is take 2. We'll put take 1 after the final outro. Thanks for coming. It's Movies on the Side. I'm your host. Here's my co-host. Let's do Black Adam today.
You need a soundboard where you have like all these like radio DJ sound effects for that kind of intro. If you couldn't tell, I made a comment about Nate's energy during our intro, and now he's just totally letting me have it. Just over the top.
Steven, what movie are we doing today? I'm so excited to be here with you.
We are doing the 2022 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie, Black Adam. The movie that was to resurrect the DC universe and bring it into the shining light of superhero movies. And it didn't. It did not do that. It's actually...
Narrator voice. It didn't.
Spoiler. It's not a good movie. I know we talked about Rotten Tomatoes a couple episodes ago, and so I'm not going to go into it. Pretty low critically acclaimed, pretty high audience satisfaction, which I will say, listen, if listeners that listen to this podcast for any length of time know that I am a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fan when it comes to movies. I'll see him in a disaster movie. I'll see him in a comedy. I like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This movie, I was excited to see him as a superhero, and he did his thing. He was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but it was bad. This movie was bad, like really bad, and like not as bad as The Flash. Which, have you seen The Flash yet? Okay,
not
so
yet.
It's not as bad as The Flash. So But anyway, you just saw this recently, right? Did you just finally get the unction to
I did.
I've seen this 3 times, so I'm in.
Whoa.
Well,
Steven, this seems like a sickness.
Let me tell you that. Okay, so I said 3 times. I've seen it once in its entirety. Okay, and then I think another time.
There is nothing about this movie that you should have gone back and watched.
Maybe it was just twice. I needed to know for myself. I was like, okay, obviously this movie is terrible. The script, the plot, not even James Bond, Pierce Brosnan in this movie, although he was probably the best part. Not only he could save this movie, but I was like, maybe the action was still redeemable. Maybe those fight scenes, it's The Rock. But no, it's not.
It was digital. It was
CG.
digital The Rock anyway
CG.
for most. Steven, the marketing for this movie, I remember as being so everywhere.
Big deal.
There was a time I believe I saw Black Adam trailers all the time.
You turn on your microwave
because I know
microwave
exactly
had the Black Adam trailer. You turn the gas station little screens.
Gas station,
all of it.
Maria Menounos, all of them.
Yes.
Then I remember it coming out, and then I heard nothing. It was as if it came out, and then once all the marketing went away, it left my brain that this was a movie. Did you see it in theaters?
Yes, I did see it.
You did, right?
That's why I saw it. That's why I saw it 3 times.
Did you see it by yourself?
That's a good question. I feel like maybe I saw it.
Did you go to Black Adam by yourself?
I don't think I've not been to a movie by myself in a long time. I went with a friend, and we saw this movie together. I'm very sure, because we thought about bringing the kids, but we were like, and then kind of glad we didn't But listen, that's why I saw it 3 times. I saw it in the movies. I saw it at home on HBO Max, and then I saw the fight scenes, which were also not worth it. But I have to tell you, Nate,
Black Adam is now on Prime.
Oh, is it really on Prime? It's not just Max?
I believe that's why I saw it.
Now they're just giving it away.
I was determined to pay no money for this.
It comes in the box whenever you order something on Amazon. They give you an Amazon Alexa, and they give you Black Adam. They just a 1-2 punch. It's right there.
They actually give you a Dwayne Johnson action figure that actually comes from Prime.
I'd be down with
Jeff sends one because they made a lot of those.
I'll be honest. Up until this point, whenever you would talk about just over CG'd movies, especially in these superhero movies, I didn't really identify with that emotion you were expressing. You would say, "Oh, the CG, too much CG," and I'd be like, "Nate is just being a naysayer. He's just being a silly goose."
Action is
is
action.
action. I just feed it to my eyeballs. And now, after this, after The Flash, after Ant-Man, Quantumania, which I
Quantumania.
just watched the other day with my kids, just because, which I gotta say, Jonathan
Because you're not a good
No,
dad. Yeah, I get it.
Jonathan Majors is still pretty good in that movie. But anyway, still good.
Still good.
Everything else,
Still
no.
good.
But he's still good. The CG, like, I could not, if I saw Cyclone spin around with rainbow CG around her one more time, like, I was going to lose it. Like, I think I was just going to lose it.
Now, you and I are at two different ends of a balance beam.
all right.
With a fulcrum in the middle, which I guess is a seesaw or a teeter-totter based on where you come from in the country. But as you head to the CG is bad, it is. But I'll tell you something. I don't think it's one of the worst three things about this movie. Which is saying a lot because it is not fun CG. In no way. It is not fun at all. But we need to go into the rest of it because...
Yeah.
Can you hear me right now? Okay. We need to go into the rest of this because, first off, we need to talk about the plot of this movie. Steven, this movie
So what is this?
is in the Shazamiverse.
Listen, yes. But also, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was like, I don't really want to be in that universe, so we're going to just sweep that under the rug. We're just going to shovel that under.
It is incredible that the
So bad.
guy who gave Shazam powers and the word Shazam is the same one that brings him to like
Yeah, makes him super. Yeah.
superhero
Yeah.
status, and there's no reference to the other Shazam.
None at all. I think
That
I think
boggles
Zachary
me.
Levi was probably like, yeah, I can't wait to be in your post-credit scene, man. It's going to be so cool. We're going to be in the same universe. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson was like,
He should have been
no.
in this movie. He should have been early on in this movie. Even if they had branched out entirely, it should have been like an early on, like, hey, you got powers, I got powers, and
it's pretty...
and Dwayne Johnson should have been like, get lost, Zachary. And then he could have left
Yeah, but
after
no,
that.
no.
We need to talk about the lore
That's
of
just-
Shazam.
well,
But no,
Yeah.
first off,
I was just gonna say the lore of Shazam, but also instead of using the lore of Shazam, they built this whole like ancient history of Black Adam with the flashbacks and stuff, and it was just all like it's too much. Like they were trying to put some like
okay, all right.
I can't even. Go ahead.
Shazam.
He says Shazam when he turns back at the end. Like he says it once.
He does
Say
say
it once,
Shazam.
which is like the only nod you get, but
right.
yeah.
Okay, so this movie is based in
Is this some fictional city?
Kazrak.
Oh, I don't know what you're saying.
Generically maybe Middle Eastern, right? We're supposed to kind of
be
think
like
of it.
Middle Eastern-y.
It's definitely a real, for those comic experts, it's like a real place in the comics.
In the comics.
You know, like it's pulled from the comics.
Yeah,
Okay, it's not a real place.
It's like
pulled from
Wakanda.
the comics.
It's not a real place. Spoilers.
This, right. But this place, unlike Wakanda, has no soul. It's like world building is just like, yeah, you get it. You get it. Like you've seen the new Middle Eastern-y news.
Which
you'll get it.
yeah.
Now,
I just have to say,
go
like,
ahead.
we say it has no soul, to which I agree. But like, I also like get like they were trying to set up this, like, there's a class of people that are experiencing hardship and oppression from like a ruler and this other group of people and like mercenaries. Like, I get what they're saying there, and like, you know, you can make like cultural commentary in this world, whatever, but like how it plays out in this movie just is not good. Like it doesn't even do that kind of, even if there was like a good like center to that idea, like it is not executed well at all, and it does it a whole disservice. So like
we're gonna get to the moral of the story, I think, later as we discuss this, but it's supposed to make you care about this city.
Right.
Having this set here, you're supposed to care about they are being basically occupied and oppressed by this like mercenary militaristic group. But it is so like yada yada yada, you get it, that they forget that we need to like care about them. And I don't think that, like, especially like putting aside like recent Middle Eastern Israel Hamas like very serious things and very serious like implications, if you had a message about people in this struggle, again, this was 2022, probably filmed maybe in COVID times, there's a lot of like, there could be a lot of heart to it. But instead, it feels so removed from our world, so removed from anything that I would relate to or like care about, that it just seems like
it's just silly.
What's the point? When the villagers come, or when the people of the city come and fight back against, I believe, a demon army or an army of the undead, they are about as real to me as the villagers of Beauty and the Beast are. They're just like, look at all these extras dressed up in like video game shorthand for town people. NPC number 3, 4,
and there's
28.
also like a common criticism of the DC is like huge swaths of cities will be destroyed, like buildings fall down, and there's like rarely repercussions, or like rarely do we see on screen like, oh, this person lost their home. So like all of that is a mess. Also, that zombie army at the end, and the whole like the villagers rising up, just I hate it. I hate it all. It was terrible. It was terrible.
It's meant to be a triumphant that people are inspired by a boy giving. Are you pulling clips from this movie for this one? I need to know now. Otherwise, I won't. There is a time where the lead boy,
he's played by Amon Tomaz. Oh, that's his character name is Amon Tomaz, played by Bodhi Sabongui.
Okay. He gives a speech to the villagers at the end, and he's supposed to inspire them. It may be one of the worst written speeches I've ever seen.
Everything about this, everything that's written about in this movie is bad. All the lines are bad. The script is bad.
It's bad. Okay.
I
return to Shazam rules. I return to Shazam rules.
One of the cool, quote unquote, cool things about this movie, we're supposed to be like, we don't just get Black Adam, we get like other superheroes, and all the trailers showed like, oh, this guy with wings, which is Hawkman, which I had no whatever. Dr. Fate, super cool. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Hold a second. You say them, and then I'll say them again in a way that people can understand.
Okay, right, Hawkman.
Sam Wilson's
Dr.
The
Fate.
Falcon.
Atom
Doctor
Smasher.
Strange.
Cyclone.
Ant-Man. Storm
Nate
from the
literally
X-Men.
nailed it. Those are the superheroes in this movie. That's exactly.
We don't need to go out and get Avengers. We have Avengers at home, Steven. These are just as good as the store brand ones.
Buy a MacBook
These
Pro,
are just from Aldi.
Listen,
you have one. You have the Avengers right here. Look at all of them: Hawkman and Smashy Boy,
all of
and
them
Swirly Girl,
These
and
superheroes were bad.
Iron Man.
They like bad script, bad lines. The action, like Hawkman. I mean, he was supposed to be really cool. He had like a mace at one point that he was swinging around. Not cool.
Shout out to Aldous Hodge, the actor behind it, who I loved in the TV show that no one has seen except for me.
Oh yeah, I've not even heard
Leverage.
of it. I don't even know what that is.
No one has seen it, but I loved it, and I love him.
But also, I will give Dr. Fate a slight pass. The CG was out of control still. I mean, everything Dr. Fate did was CG. Like,
can we talk about what Pierce Brosnan must have felt like going from being a meme of bad CGI back in the James Bond, him like, remember when he was surfing that wave in one of the Tomorrow Never Dies or something like that? He never, I don't think, was he ever dressed in a non-CG thing?
We saw him in a car.
We ever saw
him
Pierce
driving
Brosnan's
in a car,
body,
and then we saw him a couple times. But honestly, like 90% of Pierce Brosnan's character in the action scenes, he didn't even have to show up for that filming day. It was all CG.
No, didn't.
It wasn't
just put
it wasn't even green screen because he puts on this helmet, and like he could have filmed that from home. All he needed was a green screen at
Anybody
home where he
could be.
filled himself from the neck up, putting on a helmet. Could have been a bicycle helmet
Get
for
a
all we know.
face.
And then he's out. He doesn't need to do any filming at all.
The greatest
Yeah.
trick that this movie played on me is that I was so sure that Pierce Brosnan was bad,
yes.
that he was
And
going
that
to
would've
be
been
bad
so good.
in this movie. I was like, this is a bad guy. Actually, no, there's someone I knew was a bad guy, but I was like, Pierce Brosnan will turn out to be like corrupted by the suit. They even said like an earlier line, like the helmet like possesses him. Like he doesn't even know what he's doing. Like he puts the helmet on and it's like he touches the helmet, listens to the helmet. Turns out we never get to know how that works, why that works, what the mechanics of it is. He just ends up actually cool guy. I like him
also,
and Hawkman's friendship.
Spoiler, not that you care, but Pierce Brosnan must have been like, listen, I will be in this movie, but you 100% have to kill me off because I will not be in it. I will not be in another one
of these.
They might have even done that after they filmed.
Someday I'll be the voice in the
Maybe
helmet.
I'll send you a recording from my house as Dr. Fate, but I am not. Yeah, I'm not doing that. It was all terrible. We need to talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, though, because he is the titular Black Adam in this movie. Now listen.
Yes. He gets the powers. Or we already said spoilers. He gets the powers because his son is a hero. His son is like we flash back to a CG world with nothing real, but it's kind of Egypt.
It's the Prince of Egypt.
Like
scenes from the literal cartoon
maybe?
Prince of Egypt, but with Dwayne Johnson in it. yeah. It was
Less
very
color.
desaturated.
There's less color.
It
is gray.
Yes.
It is desaturated to the
That's
max.
right.
Well, that's how you know it's in the past.
That's right.
But the son is the hero. He goes, and we think that the son grows up to be or becomes through Shazam powers.
We think
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But instead, we find out that Black Adam is the dad, slightly less ripped.
That was CG too.
The Rock.
That was CG too. Yes.
They had to skinny man him down,
Which
and
also,
he's still bigger than
apparently,
me. Like,
I'm looking at the IMDb page, and there is a skinny Teth Adam actor. So they must have used that body and then CG Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's head on that dude's body. So bad.
Right
I feel like
Yep.
if they made this movie today in 2023, I feel like AI would have done a better job of the CG in this movie than what they did in 2022. But anyway, proceed.
Well, so what we find is that the boy who's the hero gets chosen by, and this is lore that I don't quite understand. Like
that's right,
7 wizards,
the Shazams,
something. I didn't pay that close attention to Shazam. The Wait,
they're all Shazams.
Are they all the Shazams?
They're all Shazams. Did you watch Fury
No, I
of the
think
Gods?
there's
Did you watch the
Heart
second?
and Fire. Not yet. Do I find more about the lore?
You do. You should watch it, and we should review it very soon.
Clarified?
It's not good. It's not good.
So, anyway, they choose him because he is like... They save this boy from getting executed by zooming him down. They say, we're going to give you all the powers of Zeus
combined.
and Apollo and whatever. Even though I think this is before Greek times.
Probably would have been.
Oh, well, I'll give it a little bit of right around the same time. Anyway, don't think about it too much. Then the boy becomes Shazam, and he looks like somebody else.
That's right.
He then fights everyone. Then Dwayne's Black Adam's wife gets murdered, and the boy comes to him, and he's dying. The boy's like, I give you Shazam powers, which... I want to talk about this from the wizard's point of view. Let's pause for a second. If you are 7 wizards and you are very meticulously choosing the right people to bestow godlike powers upon, I don't think... I'm not... When I return something to Home Depot, they give me store credit, and when I go back to buy something with that store credit, I have to present my ID and scan it in order to be the one to buy it.
You think the powers work this way too?
They should not let Shazam have more freedom than Home Depot gives to me. Home Depot has not given me any powers, and yet they are more protective of it than these wizards are about. You shouldn't just be able to Shazam everyone.
I can't even think that hard about it because it's just, yeah, meh. Anyway.
So anyway, he Shazams his dad. He immediately dies.
It is very sad.
Terribly sad. He also, when he gets really angry, he makes an explosion.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Is his Shazam, in his Shazam ability, he lives forever?
Yes. I mean, he's lived for thousands of years.
Or does he live a normal life, but he
maybe
just happened to be banished? The Seven Wizards came back and was like, whoa, we didn't give you the powers. Why did you destroy the whole city? And he's like, my B. And then they said, like, they buried him and trapped him down.
Something. Something. Yeah,
Something
Shazam.
Shazam. What do you think about Dwayne Johnson in this movie? How is his acting? How is his whole thing?
I really do. I like
You
him.
love
so
him.
the whole character is kind of like this naive person because they've been asleep for thousands of years. So like this new world, the new technology, like he has no, like he flies into the person's house because he doesn't know how to use a door or whatever. And like, I feel like that kind of handicaps him a little bit, but then he also tries to be funny, like with the kid. And like the kid says, you have to have a tagline and all this kind of stuff. And they try to have like this kind of playful Marvel feel, honestly, I think. And it all falls flat. Like it's all not funny and bad. And like, obviously he's a muscular guy. And so like he looks like a superhero at times, but just whenever he has to say words or whenever like a fight goes into the sky and then we have a bunch of CG, I'm just like, meh. I'm just meh. Like I don't care for it. Even me.
I wish he could be funny.
I think there are movies.
I wish
he's
they could have
funny.
made him funny.
He's funny with
but
Kevin
then
Hart.
he does, however,
he kills a bunch of dudes. Like
dudes.
a lot of killing, but
he kills a lot. I mean, like that's kind of his thing. Is like the generic Avengers come in and
it's not the Justice
League.
League.
We don't kill
it's
people.
The Justice. What is it called? No.
Initiative.
It's the Justice. The Justice Defenders. The Justice
Institution.
What is it called?
The Justicers.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
The Justice.
It's the Justice. Hold on.
Yeah.
Society. It's the Justice. Can I just say I know it's from the
Society.
comic books.
No problems there.
It's not a great name. You have the Justice League.
Well, that's why it hasn't been. That's why it hasn't been a thing. I guess
felt
until
bad.
now.
I really wanted to love Dwayne The Rock Johnson in this as a superhero. It's his first superhero role. Like he's not been a superhero before this, as far as I know, right?
No. He's been a superhero.
Skyscraper and
quote
San
unquote,
Andreas
in
and
most of his
Jumanji,
movies.
Fast and the Furious.
He was basically some sort of immortal being in
That's
Jungle
true.
Cruise, which was directed by our friend who also directed this,
Okay.
Jamais Colette. Sarah.
I wish it could have been a Marvel superhero movie first, which maybe if it's Marvel now, maybe pre-Endgame.
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 I wish he would have been in that
Don't
pre-Endgame.
give him a lot of lines. Just have a great writer. Give him a couple one-liners. Like Drax. Drax is like incredibly funny, minimal lines. Doesn't have to do a bunch of like emotional acting. Like give that to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and then still have him beat a bunch of people up. Like he's big and he's strong and he can do that. But they just totally like did him a disservice. I feel like even like the last fight scene, which this whole obviously the movie builds up. We have so many fight scenes in the city, in the sky. The last fight scene where he's like, I guess literally fighting the devil. I don't even know what that thing is. It's
We gotta go. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. Let's go back to this.
right.
Ishmael, our friend Marwan Kanzari, is the involved in. We haven't even discussed Adriana, the main lady in here, who has nothing to do. She has the only thing that she has to do is progress the plot by trying to save her son by giving the bad guy the CGI crown
That sentence
or whatever.
outside of his movie's context would get you institutionalized. It literally sounds insane, but
makes no sense.
That's where we're at.
So Ishmael is his character. I immediately saw him, and I said, oh, they brought in Jafar.
Yes.
He's back. And you know what? When they sat him down and they're like, listen, you're going to be kind of a friend guy, but then you're going to be a villain at the end. And he's like, cool. You saw me as Jafar. I think I could be a good villain, but you're not going to make me like a big red CG guy at the end like they did at the end of Aladdin, right? I get to still be me, right? At the end?
Actually.
Right?
Actually,
right?
no. We're going to make you the big red CG guy.
No.
And you're not going to have anything to do.
You're back. You're going to be Jafar all over again. So what's your motivation? Well, you're going to be a descendant of a guy from a very desaturated scene earlier. And because you're a descendant, you literally want to bring hell on earth by... Apparently there are 7 wizards and there are 7 demons, as we all learned growing up. And these 7 demons are like, hey, we need a Shazam too, because we're like jelly that you have your champion. We want one of ours. We've seen this guy be Jafar before. He would be great
I just hate all of
as
this.
ours.
All of this.
They turn him into a video game villain.
Looks just as bad
at the very end. He is the most, like, if you were to tell someone like, hey, draw some sort of like devil warrior, and you gave that to a 10-year-old and be like, what do you think the devil
But also
looks
make him
like?
buff.
They'd be like,
make him buff. He's got to look buff looking. Then,
make him rip. Yeah, because he's got to be able to fight Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I would have rather seen Black Adam fight a Balrog at the end of this movie. I wish he would have transformed fully into
flaming
a big
sword,
old dragon beast.
For sure. Yeah.
They are 2 immortal beings who at the end punch each other.
That's all that happens. That's it. That's all that happens. It's so... and also, like, Pierce Brosnan's character, like I mentioned before, dies, like, unceremoniously. I feel like he sacrifices himself, I guess. I don't know for what purpose. Like, it doesn't seem to do much. Like, Black Adam still has to show up and do his thing.
He points. Oh yeah, there's just one way.
Wait, well, what movie is
all
that?
The possibilities.
Oh yeah, duh,
Doctor
of course.
Strange.
I was also
Infinity
thinking
War, I think.
Another DC movie, Man of Steel, when Kevin Costner, he looks at Superman during the tornado, and he's like, "Wait, don't come save me." Still the best movie. Still the best moment in any DC movie ever. Like that one moment. No other moment has come close.
Man.
But anyway.
Oh man.
Terrible fight scene. Like, it's not satisfying to watch. Like, even at my first viewing, I was like, this is all the fun fight stuff, like in a superhero movie, but it's just all CG, and it's just not, it's nothing. It's
just
and then,
all CG at
the
end.
Mate, to add insult to injury.
And then?
To add insult to injury, I just have to say this right here. They brought our good friend in the post-credits scene, Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill floats down in the post-credit scene, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson literally posted on all his social media as the movie was just coming out. He was like, I don't know how he talks, but this is my impression of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I had one request. I don't know. This sounds terrible. I can't even do that. He's like, I was trying to do a Rock. Funny. Can't even do that. Dwayne The Rock Johnson said he had one request. He said, when I do this movie, you have to bring the Cav back to be Superman. Those were, I think, his exact words. You have to bring Cavill back. So he got Henry Cavill in the post-credit scene back in the Superman outfit floating down. And honestly, most exciting part of the movie, because I am here for a Henry Cavill Superman. And then what? Like 2 months later, James Gunn
threw them both in the trash.
Everything. And I'm still mad about it. I still think Henry Cavill was a good Superman and could have been a great Superman, but can't stand it.
But you know what? If he was going to be good, put him in the movie. Stop taking substandard stories as your quote-unquote origin only to tease a better thing. If you had a better thing, play the better thing. Stop saving quote-unquote your like really cool stuff to preserve your job legacy or movie thing until later. If it's cool to see Superman fight Black Adam, make that happen in the movie. Because you know who I didn't care about?
I didn't care about anybody.
Jafar.
But yeah, no, Jafar, I don't care about him either. Yeah, I don't care.
In this movie. There's a boy and a mother, and they're supposed to really be the heart of the movie. They're supposed to take this whole world and sort of shrink it down to, hey, at the end of the day, it's a mom and a son. They were done so dirty in this movie. Not only do they you don't care about them. You care more about the uncle.
I did
comic
care about
relief
him.
uncle.
Yes.
Get some extra I actually care about him. But they put this boy on they put him on a skateboard. He was so excited to have a hero
coaching Black Adam
of his own,
how to be a cool superhero.
But at the end, all he could do was stand up on a car maybe and tell them
so
hey,
bad.
We need to fight. Which, by the way, if you're a mercenary bad dude in this town and you see dead mummies or zombies come to life, you also better be fighting against them as well. That should bring humanity together to fight against the giant vortex of fiery hell. Let's talk about moral of the story.
What
is it?
You had something you were going to tell me was a moral.
I mean, I have a guess. This movie is tangentially almost starting to actually have commentary about something. But it never actually has commentary about something. There's a moment of what does occupation mean, and that the world looks on and doesn't send their good superheroes. Superman doesn't show up even though he should have when hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And that, it's almost a thing that they're trying to almost say, which is hey, people just expect this to be a war-torn area and we don't actually care about it that much. That could be a message that you could do.
I will say,
no,
to actually be gracious here, one of the things Dwayne The Rock Johnson talked about before the movie came out was he wants to do this story, Black Adam. I guess he read the comics as a kid. News to me. I had not heard of this character before this movie. And, I think most people probably hadn't either. Not only DC, but just small character. But this character is supposedly from that Middle Eastern area, and we don't have a lot of heroes from that region and from that background. And so I actually get wanting to tell the story from a hero that can then represent this part of the world. And I think it is cool to have superheroes that are diverse and from different places and that other people can identify with and say yeah, that is my superhero. And a couple times we have that moment where yeah.
But why bring him if you are going to have great representation? Why have him from a fictional
you have to be true
place?
To the comics, I would assume.
I mean, I know it goes back to Black Panther. It goes back to that as well. But it's we know Steve Rogers is from Queens or whatever, and it's I feel it's so strange to not just be couldn't he just be I'm from Istanbul?
Yeah, I mean it could have been. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know. I mean, trying to be true to the comics, I assume. If you don't want to be different, because then you get a whole bunch of people saying that. But I was I could see that as a small moral that came through a little bit, and. Fine.
Of having the moral being instead of it's great to sort of within your own culture having heroes is beautiful versus just looking elsewhere to have other people come in and save you from afar or whatever. Empowering those.
I don't even know if it's that deep. I don't know. I think it is just it's okay to have a hero that represents you from a cultural perspective, and not just good versus evil. You know what I mean? It's okay to have that kind of third, I don't know, trait of this hero that is not only a hero and good, but also, I don't know,
Right. Well, and then, here's something else that is tangential too. I feel at some...
This has been the most technically challenged. My camera shut off.
I'm
still here. I could hear you and I could talk. It's just my camera said the battery was exhausted. I don't even know what that means. I'm exhausted for all these technical issues we had today.
I've had a...
Hey, Stephen. It's your camera. I've had
a long day.
I could use just a
Just decided
little
to take
nap.
a nap.
You want to know
Why do you sound like a
I'm
Joker?
exhausted?
What do you sound like?
Okay. The other thing that I think like they were tangentially close to having a moral is the violence versus nonviolence. Because what I thought was going to be interesting and what the trailers kind of made is like, unlike the heroes unlike Superman, I
Yeah,
kill
he
people.
definitely does.
Like, I kill people, which was used as kind of a joke early on. And the boy, which is alarming at times, has no problem with him just murdering
True.
people left and right. Like, full on. And I feel like there is a part of the story that you could grapple with. Hey, is there ever a time where, like, really, like, it's better to kill than to imprison or to just save? Like, you truly have to, like, stop the evil or whatever. That is a thing that I thought they were going to discuss. And then at some point in time, he was like, yeah, I'm probably too violent. When we find out it was his son who was the hero, and he's like, I'm not really a hero, but then at the end of the movie, he's like, I should be a hero.
Well, and doesn't
Maybe kill
he
less
spares that
people,
one like bicycle
sort of
rider
thing.
at one point, right? Like, doesn't he not kill it? Yeah.
Right. So over the time, like, he kind of learns, like, I shouldn't kill everyone
Something
that
like that.
but the movie tries it to have it both ways. And one way is, that's pretty cool that he kills, like, he's cooler because he kills people. And then later he's like, I shouldn't. But as the audience, you're supposed to be like, no. Keep on going. These are faceless mercenaries. We don't care about their lives. They probably don't have families. Go ahead.
It's tough to pull a moral from something like this. It makes me sad. It makes me sad to have seen Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in this movie. I don't know why I have to say his full name all the time.
Do you like this movie or
Jungle
Jungle
Cruise,
Cruise
for sure.
better?
I mean, I would prefer him telling corny dad jokes than this movie. I preferred San Andreas. I think I preferred Skyscraper, even as cheesy as that one is, because they're CG for sure, but the CG it was just out of control.
Mm-hmm.
I really need you to watch The Flash because I want to hear you be as mad about CG as I am about CG now, and like that'll just get your ire up again to be mad about it. But we should rate this. What?
What's he doing?
Dwayne The Rock
What's
Johnson?
he doing next?
Oh, that's a good question. He had that
Upcoming.
Oh, there you go.
Fast X Part 2. Jungle
Oh, my
Cruise
word.
2
So many
is in
sequels.
development.
So many sequels. Honestly,
San
heck yeah,
Andreas
I'm
2.
totally in for that. I'm totally in for that.
Oh, you're back. Oh, he's going to be in the Moana
Right. We're gonna
live
get to see
action.
Oh, I would
I'll see it.
for sure. I would rather see Moana again than Black Adam, I think. It's rough. We should rate this movie. I'm going to
Yep.
give it a
What are you giving it?
1. I will give it a 1 out of 5. I mean, I liked seeing... I was cool to see him in a superhero outfit. Like, him being an actual superhero was kind of cool. I mean, I enjoyed maybe 1 or 2 action moments, but it was really bad. I don't want to see it again. It makes me sad. Pierce Brosnan, too. Why? But anyway, he did the best he could. Anyway, what do you give it? I'm gonna give
it
Higher than
1.5
me, okay.
for
a
me.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie.
I mean, we've been really doing some low numbers as of late, and like, this is a movie.
High praise.
So it does do that. I'm going to give it a
whole
whole
half.
half point because his traps in this movie are inspirational. That
That's
collar
what
on
did
there,
it.
it's like, all right, how many shoulder
lot.
shrugs do I have to do to have my neck come out diagonally
Literal triangle.
from my jawline like he does in this movie? He could shrug. He could probably just lift a car and just shrug it up and down, and that'll be part of his workout for it. In general, I'm ready for DC to do its whole big on
ready.
reboot. I have enjoyed the color theory universe of Black Adam, Blue Beetle, Green Arrow, Silver Snakes, Purple Monkeys, all these movies. But I'm
am
ready
too.
for a new start.
We need a whole reset on just the superhero genre. I feel like the Marvels It's coming out as we record, I think, this weekend, and it is, I think, it is.
It's not
it is
expected to
expected
do well.
to flop and do terrible, which is not great. I do think Loki season 2 is probably the best Marvel property in the last 3 years.
Loki at least has
Good vibes.
good vibes, good cinematography,
Good script.
good
Good filmmaking.
good filmmaking.
Yeah, I'm
that sort of
excited for
thing.
that one.
Good
But
acting.
man, we need a reboot. But anyway,
For those who, this is just a little PSA. For those who like Brie Larson and are maybe sad that she is kind of pigeonholed in this Captain Marvel world that she's in now, I do recommend
I gotta
Lessons
see
in
that. I gotta see
Chemistry
that.
on Apple TV Plus.
I want
if
to.
you
I want to
wanna
watch
see more
that
Brie
movie. It's pretty
Larson.
good.
That's one that I recommend. I mean, the whole season's not out, so I'm giving you my
Okay.
60% of
Sure,
the way
sure,
through
sure.
the season review.
Okay, very
But
good.
very
Well,
good.
Listen, you can tell us what you thought about Black Adam. You watch it on Prime, HBO Max. You can watch it on your microwave or the gas station pump. But you can also comment on the Instagram post that goes up, and you can listen to our bonus episode where Nate talked about what would you do if you had to protect your family from a line drive at a baseball game. And then we were talking about something else. Anyway, it was a great bonus episode. Patreon.com/movies on the side. Or you can support us directly on Apple Podcast. You can listen to the bonus episodes there. And as we always say,
5,000 years ago, Kondak was a melting pot of cultures, wealth, power, and magic. But most of us had nothing except for the chains around our necks. Kondak needed a hero. Instead, they got me. I did what needed to be done, and they imprisoned me for it. Now,
way too long.
5,000 years later, I'm free. And I give you my word, no one will ever stop me
that was
again.
pretty good.
I cannot do a Dwayne The Rock
It
Johnson
sounded like you were
impression to
doing
save
somebody
my
else's
life.
voice. I just couldn't put my finger on it. But, yeah. That's something.
It's something in there. It might
You sound
just
like one of
be
the voiceover
my
guys
normal
that does like the openings,
soldier NPC.
backstory voiceover for disaster movies or whatever.
Everything was fine in Corneria, fourth planet of the Lilat system, until the evil Empire Andros
Yes.
came and destroyed it. Now, Slippy,
That's pretty good.
Peppy, the other guy, Falco, and myself are fighting against the evil Andros to free the galaxy. It's
Did you
me,
just pull that up?
Star
Or were
Fox.
you just making that up? That was very
Just
impressive.
making it up.
That was very good. I enjoyed that. All right.
Thanks.